Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A terrible situation overnight. A 4-year-old drowns in an above-ground pool. Up next, what San Antonio police are saying about how this happened.
And looking over there with live cam, we're starting warm, 79 degrees, still humid. Just feels like summer out there.
Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. It is July 27th.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you've had a good week so far. Afternoons have been interesting.
I was looking for some clouds this morning, hoping that would help us out as soon as the sun came up, but not today.
I didn't see anything either. Now, we did have some develop yesterday as we approach, sunrise, so we'll see a couple of those. Gesundheit. I know that was a cough, but anyway, yeah, we're in basically just the doldrums around here, where it is the same pattern each and every day. Temperatures are going to be about 5 degrees above normal later on in the afternoons, and we've got the morning humidity, 79 in towns, 80 Castroville, Canyon Lake, mid-70s Hill Country, and Dew Point. Well, here in town, it's down a little bit compared to yesterday, but still, Canyon Lake, New Braunfels, Randolph, and Pleasanton, it's fairly high up there, and if we get those clouds to come in, that's going to kind of hold some of that moisture in as well. It feels like 82 out at the airport, and the heat index is 85 up the road at Canyon Lake right now. Mold dropped down yesterday from the previous day's reading, which was on the moderate side. Of course, it is a yellow day for CPS Energy Conservation. So you can scan that QR code, find out more information about that. 92 at noon, and yep, once again, 100. We hit 101 yesterday. This pattern will continue. I know in the past couple of days we've been talking about a chance for a stray shower here or there. Not even that. We can't really scare anything up, maybe way down along the coast. Talk about the weekend and look ahead to the first couple of days of August coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
A very tragic situation this morning. A family devastated after a 4-year-old girl drowned in an above-ground pool during a gathering at a Southwest Side home. According to San Antonio police, officers were initially called for a missing child around 8 o'clock last night in the 9100 block of Ocean Gate. The girl got away while the family of 15 was gathered outside. After 30 minutes of searching, they called authorities for help. Police arrived a short time later. Officers found the little girl face down in an above-ground pool in the backyard of the home. The child was taken out of the pool, and police began life-saving measures. She coughed up water on an officer and was taken by EMS to a hospital where she died. The family told officers the ladder to the pool was removed, and it's not known how the little girl got into the pool itself.
2 shootings in 2 weeks on the same street, and neighbors don't think it's a coincidence. And some residents say it's only a matter of time before their home is the next target.
KSAT's John Paul Barajas spoke to some Southside neighbors about what their security cameras have captured.
Makes me very nervous. That really, I'm scared.
Waking up to the sound of gunshots has left those who live off Oxana and Creek Place on edge. So much so that only one of the 5 neighbors we talked to would go on camera on the condition that we didn't show her face.
I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe.
That insecurity is after this drive-by, the second shooting in 15 days. On July 10th, there was a shootout between cars. Another angle from earlier that night shows the cars driving through people's yards as they continued shooting at each other as they made their way down the street.
Get the cops over here.
San Antonio police have shown up for both incidents looking for evidence.
I saw holes there, but it was like from the construction.
Not much has turned up.
Get her find it.
No, we're good. We're good, thank you.
But neighbors tell us at least 2 cars have been hit.
I don't know if they're ever going to stop unless they hurt somebody. They're doing that. They don't care. They don't care who they hurt.
She says she replays the sounds of gunshots every night before going to bed.
It was bap, 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 bap.
Now, San Antonio police say they are investigating both cases as a discharged firearm and aggravated assault, deadly conduct. But at this time, no arrests have been made, so they're asking anybody with information to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. At Public Safety Headquarters, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Accusations that the government is hiding evidence of UFOs taking center stage on Capitol Hill.
One witness testified about alien beings and spacecraft supposedly now in U.S. possession. And as ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports, lawmakers are demanding answers amid growing concern over national security.
On Capitol Hill, a former Air Force intelligence officer testified yesterday that he believes the U.S. is concealing unidentified flying objects that crashed and may even be concealing alien life forms.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
David Grush appeared alongside two former fighter pilots who reported seeing UFOs, telling the Congressional Oversight Committee that the U.S. has been aware of these mysterious objects for nearly a century.
I like to use the term non-human. I don't like to denote origin. Keeps the aperture open, previously 1930s.
It's the latest in the disclosure surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, the government's term for UFOs. And while the mention of UFOs brings to mind images of otherworldly creatures emerging from a futuristic spaceship, those in Washington are more concerned that sightings like these from fighter pilots could be tied to America's foreign adversaries. But Grush claims not all the encounters have been of this earth.
We believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier. Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to.
Grush did not cite any evidence supporting his allegations. He claims such information is classified. The Pentagon denies any cover-up. But both Republicans and Democrats are now pushing for more transparency from the military, noting whether they're from Earth or not, they could pose a national security risk. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Well, the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates again. It's reviving its inflation fight despite a significant cool down of price increases in recent months. Inflation has fallen significantly from a peak last summer, remains at only 3%, only 1 percentage point higher than the Federal Reserve's target of 2%. Latest rate increase is bad news for anyone in need of a loan. New car loans are at a 15-year high, and mortgage rates have nearly doubled since March of 2022. Credit card rates are now averaging a record 20%.
We are learning more about recent moments of concern for the top GOP leader in the U.S. Senate. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell froze during a news conference that was yesterday. McConnell has not explained why he froze up, but an aide claimed that the lawmaker was feeling lightheaded. Sources say he has suffered at least 3 falls this year. One of those happened just this month as he was getting off the plane at Reagan National Airport in Washington. McConnell returned to the U.S. Capitol later that day.
The Mega Millions jackpot climbed to an estimated $910 million. It's after a drawing without a winner extended a stretch of bad luck dating back to April. There have been 28 drawings without a big winner. The new $910 million prize for tomorrow night's drawing is among the largest in U.S. lottery history. It follows a $1 billion Powerball prize won by a player last week in Los Angeles. Good luck. 438, 78 degrees.
Most drivers have a blind spot when it comes to the back of their vehicle. But the front blind spot's dangerous also. A possible solution now being considered next.
So far so good on the roads, but it's still very early out there. One of our biggest issues in the overnight hours is construction, which we do not see in the 410 McCullough area, but don't be fooled. Of course, we got all around 1604 all the way over to 35.
And the only issue in the afternoon, really heat. The sun, the triple digits, but right now we're at a comfortable 78 degrees. We'll be right back.
When you think about blind spots while driving, it's the rear view that likely comes to mind, right? Well, as pickup trucks and SUVs grow in size, so do the blind spots in front of the vehicle.
12 on your sides, Marilyn Morris shows us just how big these blind zones can be.
To help drivers see out of the rear of the car, backup cameras have been required on all new cars since 2018.
Backup cameras have saved lives and given us all that additional view when we're moving backward. Now we need to shift the focus to the safety in front of the vehicle.
The stats are alarming. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in 2020, there were more than 500 deaths and more than 10,000 injuries due to forward-moving vehicles. Most victims, children. According to Kids in Cars, 81% were age 6 and younger. As vehicles have gotten bigger, so have the blind zones around them. Watch this.
So we're going to use Mr. Bear here to simulate a small child. You let me know when you can see him. Anything?
Nope.
Can you see him now?
No.
Anything now?
Well, I can just see his ears.
Where we're looking here is about 15 feet ahead of that vehicle.
Wow, that's a big distance.
And again, you're only seeing the top of his head.
Vehicles are not required to have front cameras or sensors, but a bill in Congress could require changes to certain vehicles.
There's already so many of these large vehicles on the road that awareness has to be part of it. If you're driving a large vehicle, maybe walk around the vehicle or make sure all kids in the area are in your line of sight before that vehicle starts to move.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
443, 78 degrees.
The push to save one of the last buildings of its kind in San Antonio, even though it isn't designated a historic landmark. A look at the history behind this 150-year-old saloon next.
Tourists and wild animals, never really a good combination. Up next, the moment, some sea lions said they'd had enough. Well, they didn't say it, but they acted it out.
Welcome back. It's 446 and the latest encounter between tourists and wild animals. Sea lions were seen charging people in San Diego. ABC's Matt Gutman has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, sea lions charging sightseers. That after a string of close encounters with wildlife this summer. This moment in La Jolla Cove in San Diego, the latest example of tourists behaving badly, often for the sake of a selfie.
Please keep that large male sea lion plenty of room. They have bit people, and they are protected animals.
Suddenly, another sea lion dashes out of the water and darts towards the crowd, prompting everyone to run. Male sea lions can reach up to 7 feet in length and weigh up to 750 pounds. And they're capable of reaching 25 miles per hour on land. And coming up at 7 a.m., what wildlife officials are saying about these encounters with your GMA First Look. I'm Matt Gutman, ABC News, Los Angeles.
It's a building that seems out of place against the backdrop of a CPS Energy substation. What had been a saloon and beer garden dating back to the 1870s won't be there much longer.
But not if the Conservation Society of San Antonio can help it. Jesse DeGollado tells us about the push to save what's said to be one of the last buildings of its kind in San Antonio.
Almost 150 years before this property at 10th and Alamo was owned by CPS Energy, Summers Saloon and Beer Garden was the place to go to drink and discuss the issues of the day. Owned and operated by German immigrants, Francis and Albertina Summers had a home between the saloon and a bowling alley that they also had. It's said that a member of the Summers family years later would become the general manager of City Public Service. Now known as CPS Energy, they say the utility had agreed to save the building while expanding its substation.
And then last Friday I came out and they were taking down the roof. Why would you not save that building, renovate that building, and celebrate that building as part of your own history?
They say the expected demolition was given administrative approval by the city's Office of Historic Preservation instead of going before the Historic Design and Review Commission. OHP says that's because only 2 of the 3 criteria were met for a historic landmark designation.
The Office of Historic Preservation says it didn't give a landmark designation because of all the alterations that were made to the building over the years.
But they say other than a few extra windows,
it hasn't changed significantly since its very beginnings in the 1870s.
She says anything else that changed wasn't there when it was originally built.
You just have to look at it. That tells you a story of the late 19th century by those big limestone blocks.
Beyond comprehension to me. It seems like a really reckless race to the future.
Asked if legal action is possible,
we're exploring all possible options.
Near downtown, Jesse DeGollado, KSAT 12 News.
And a quick check of the roads with TransGuide, looking over at Loop 410 at McCullough. Doesn't appear that there's any major problems, just a few construction spots.
Well, Mike mentioned it.
Yes, I was going to say, it'd be neat if they could just move that building somewhere, but that might be...
Which we've seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a major and very expensive undertaking. I was going to say, you mentioned earlier, we're kind of in the summer doldrums, and we'd love to make light of that if the heat wasn't so darn dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, if you're out in the sunshine, you know, like I've been saying all there each and every day, at least the humidity does drop down somewhat in the afternoon. But you know, you get midday before the humidity really drops down all that much, and it's tough to be outside. So, boy, talk about some beautiful sunsets Monday evening. A couple of days ago, Laguna Madre. And yeah, it was just fantastic. Look at that water there, just almost smooth as glass. And some of that orangey view from the enhanced by the Saharan dust. Thank you so much for the KSAT Connect picture. All right, we are starting off with some clear skies right now. We are going to see pretty good sunrise this morning. A couple of clouds are going to be developing as well. Speaking of the dust out there, yep, it is still in place and it's going to remain in place through tomorrow, and still it is forecast to sort of start to thin out once we get into Saturday as well as Sunday. So it will, we'll have those enhanced sunsets the next couple of evenings. Then it's going to be going away for the time being. 79 degrees right now. Same thing New Braunfels, 80s Castroville and Canyon Lake, and the humidity, at least from San Antonio off to the northwest, isn't bad. We got some there around Canyon Lake as well as New Braunfels. We do have a little bit of a heat index to deal with right now. As a matter of fact, though, in many spots, especially in the hill country, dew points are down slightly, down a degree here in town compared to this time yesterday. So maybe not quite the little pushback when you step outside this morning. Of course, like I was talking about, the humidity, dew points will be dropping down this afternoon. We'll go through the same cycle tomorrow, and likewise in the afternoon it will be dropping on down. So as far as the rest of today, we are going to have a few of those clouds around this morning, upper 70s. Normal average low right now is 75 degrees. We make it up to 92 at noon, top off at 100 today. The normal high temperature is 96. We did hit 101 yesterday, so we are still going to remain 4 or 5 degrees above normal all the way in through the rest of the weekend going into next week. And again, that high is not going anywhere. There was the hope that we'd get somewhat of this easterly wave coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, but it's just even though that thing's coming in here, there's no moisture in the atmosphere to work with. So therefore, rain chances, if there's a sea breeze shower, that's going to be about it, but nothing in the forecast. And that thing is just going to be staying in place. As a matter of fact, it almost looks like it wants to edge in here a little bit closer as we go on into the first part of next week, which is going to just kind of turn things up a notch or two. So 100s the next few days. We're looking at 102s going in Sunday into the first couple of days of August on Tuesday and Wednesday. Some Saharan dust the next few days. And of course, once we get into the 31st, that's when the high and the low, the historically hottest time of the year, 97 and 76 respectively.
Monday.
Yeah, that's about almost 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. So we're still above
Yeah,
average.
we're still above normal, still going to be above normal for even the hottest time of the year.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeehaw. Like I said,
I know.
Doldrums.
Yeah.
I know, it makes your job tricky and tiresome sometimes. 453, 78 degrees.
Coming up next, how the writer's strike is affecting game shows like Jeopardy! Plus a first look at a new video game-based series that debuts on streaming today.
About 4 minutes till a classic video game title gets its own series that debuts today, plus how the writer's strike is affecting game shows.
For the latest what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
So if I'm here, then the exit is, they have a Foot Locker. Oh, son of a...
He's like a post-apocalyptic Postmates driver. Anthony Mackie stars in the new series Twisted Metal, another video game adaptation. His character delivering much-needed goods between barely surviving cities. His car can handle the stress, but in an interview done before the actor's strike, Mackie told me his first car, a 1985 Nissan Sentra, wasn't so reliable.
It had a back seat and a driver's seat, no passenger seat. It had a radio, no air conditioning. And the radio I put in myself with my cousin. It was like a house radio with speakers in the trunk.
Did you ever put the passenger seat in or no?
I did get, so funny thing is I got a milk crate and I screwed the milk crate to the floor panels, and that was my passenger seat.
All 10 episodes of Twisted Metal are streaming on Peacock today. The writer's strike affecting Jeopardy! Producers saying the Tournament of Champions will be delayed because of the strike, and new episodes for the upcoming season will use best of questions from throughout the years because they don't have writers to write the new ones. And TV legend Norman Lear still taking it one day at a time. He's 101 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
457, 78 degrees.
Hunter Biden's proposed deal with prosecutors to plead guilty to tax charges and avoid a gun charge has hit a snag. Up next, why the judge in the case says she needs more time to review the agreement.
Heat-related illnesses are on the rise this summer. Up next, how a new treatment is being used to help people stay cool in San Antonio.
And a quick check of the roads with TransGuide, looking over here at I-10 at the Y, where things are moving right now. But our Steven Cavazos is in the studio, and we're going to check with him after the break.
Wave back, Steph.
Hey.
There he is. Okay, hi, Steven.
Hi.
A federal judge is demanding Hunter Biden's defense team and federal prosecutors come up with a new plea agreement after hours of questions about the legal merits of that initial deal, which many Republicans slammed. I'm ABC's Justin Finch with more details from Washington.
And looking out there with a live cam, let's enjoy that 78 degrees at 5 in the morning, because that's probably as cool as it's going to get today.
Morning, everybody. Thursday, the 27th of July.
Thanks for joining us. Yes, those afternoons are getting very hot, and hopefully if you have to work in it, you're taking all the precautions.
Mike O'Strange, how are you getting by these days in the afternoon hours?
Staying inside. Yeah. But you know, the walk to your car, even across the parking lot, if you go to the grocery store or, have to go shopping, something like that, even going from inside work to outside, that can be tough as well. And, we keep pointing out and got to keep harping on this, watch it if you're walking your pets, keep an eye on the kids, obviously sunscreen, and 79 degrees right now. Bottom number, dew point 71. It actually dropped a little bit compared to yesterday, but we still have a heat index right now at 82 degrees. 100. Yep, once again, this is going to be day number 4 in a row after we stayed just at 99 on Sunday. We hit 101 yesterday, by the way. The aquifer yesterday, it keeps going in the wrong direction, down 0.3 of a foot, and yesterday's reading. And then mold is on the low side. That also came down because the air is so dry, and it's going to continue to stay on the dry side. And that's another reason why we just can't scare up anything as far as any rain around here, not only just because of the dry atmosphere, but also given the fact that we've got this dome of high pressure kind of sitting on top of us. So 82 is what it feels like in town, 83 Canyon Lake, and 82 down the road at Stinson. Warm, humid this morning, kind of the same old thing later on this afternoon. 100, mostly sunny skies, and to finish out the rest of July, low hundreds, plenty of sunshine. As a matter of fact, we are going to start to creep up a little bit. Temperatures starting at the start of next week, and then going into the first few days of August. Still triple-digit temperatures and lots of sunshine. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, good morning, Mr. Cavazos. What's going on the
highways and byways? Mike, we have some flashing lights out here. This just popped up from TransGuide. I just saw this. Let's get a wider look, see what's going on, because it does look like we have crews out there. This could be some road work that we're seeing wrap up, but I know I've seen some of those flashing lights out toward Fredericksburg each morning when I come into work. That's, again, usually road work, but it does look like we have an incident that may have popped up here. So I'll step out of here in just a moment, talk to our friends at TransGuide and find out exactly what's taking place out there. But notice traffic is moving at us there early in the morning. We have people making the commute, so we'll find out what's happening and give you an update here in the next few moments. But let's take you to our map. The good thing I've not spotted are any buildups or backups out here on our map, but we still have that closure along I-10 heading westbound, Medical Drive at Wurzbach Road. I did send Saws an email to find out exactly when we'll see that reopen and exactly what caused that water main break that occurred late Sunday that led to that closure, but we'll have an update on that hopefully later this morning. Let's get you to travel times. 37 northbound if you're heading in from Pleasanton, shouldn't be too bad for you. 28 minutes is what you can expect, and about a 30-minute drive along US 90 eastbound if you're heading in from Castroville, and the arrival from Lytle along 35 northbound should be in about 17 minutes. But again, these flashing lights here on TransGuide, we'll step out of here, find out exactly what's taking place, and I'll have that update for you coming up in the next few minutes. Mark.
Stephen, just 1 week ago, 12 migrants located inside a trailer on I-35 near Fisher Road ramps. And all 12 individuals were said to be healthy after a medical evaluation.
This morning, we are taking a closer look at how first responders reacted to migrant crisis situations after the initial call. Our Avery Everett has that story.
An emergency can happen in an instant.
Every minute counts.
And Dr. Brian Everett says this tent bag adds time to the clock.
A vinyl bag that we can put ice cold water around the patient and start to cool them.
Heat-related illnesses are on the rise this summer, and Everett says this treatment is being used to help people in the community.
We are very aggressive about putting these patients in these bags, both pre-hospital and in the hospital.
Everett says this could be the key to saving lives, especially when people are under inhumane conditions.
And if these patients are not found and cooled quickly, they will die.
Just 1 week ago, 12 migrants were found cramped inside a trailer on I-35 near Fisher Road. EMS crews examined them and said they were okay. A relief, because after learning about the migrants' conditions inside the trailer, people were worried.
The levels at which that we're seeing it are unprecedented.
Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says when his deputies respond to these incidents, they're prepared, with one goal in mind.
During the course of that interview, we try to find out, where did you come from? What have you been through? Are you the victim of any crimes?
But no matter where they came from, San Antonio often helps. And Councilwoman Adriana Rocha Garcia says this is becoming familiar in District 4.
That if that first exit to San Antonio is off of 35, it's going to continue happening.
It's a humanitarian crisis at that moment.
Everett says this isn't a solution, but it can be a lifesaver.
We'll put about 2 inches or 3 inches of water on the patient.
As these emergencies will likely keep happening.
So we are ready to do this.
Dr. Everett says these temp bags have been being used inside ambulances for about the past month, but they've been used inside of hospitals over the past couple of years. But if you see someone experiencing a heat-related illness and you don't have quick access to one of these, doctors say the best thing that you can do is get them under cold running water. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
A 42-year-old man is in jail after undercover police say he tried to meet up with someone who he thought was an underage girl. Anthony Flores is charged with online solicitation of a minor after a San Antonio undercover operation officer found that Flores tried to meet up with who he believed was a 15-year-old girl. He was arrested yesterday on his way to work in Bernie and is being held in the Kendall County Jail.
5:07 in an unexpected turn, the Hunter Biden plea deal is off the table for now.
After hours of scrutiny, the judge overseeing the Biden hearing ordered both sides to continue talking and return to court next month. ABC's Justin Finch explains if the plea deal would grant Hunter Biden immunity for other possible crimes.
In Wilmington, Delaware, a courtroom cliffhanger. Federal Judge Mary Ellen Norica finding fault in the plea deal reached by Hunter Biden's lawyers and Donald Trump-appointed Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss. That deal calling for Hunter Biden to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges for failing to file taxes in 2017 and 2018. And prosecutors agreed not to prosecute the younger Biden for lying about his drug use during a 2018 gun purchase, provided he remained drug-free for 2 years. Judge Norica saying she would not rubber stamp that deal and asking, is this even constitutional? Many Capitol Hill Republicans slammed that plea agreement as special treatment.
And yet, if this wasn't Hunter Biden, it is likely he wouldn't have been prosecuted at all.
Norica, a Trump-appointed judge, also inquiring if that deal would have given Hunter Biden immunity from prosecution for other potential crimes he may have committed, including business dealings with China and Ukraine. When a prosecutor answered no, Hunter Biden's lawyer, Chris Clark, declared the agreement null and void. The hearing ending with the judge ordering both sides to resume talks and return to court in about 30 days, with no guarantees that she would accept or deny their new compromise.
The judge is the ultimate arbiter of the law, not of the defendant's rights or the prosecution's rights.
Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty to those tax charges as negotiations continue. Prosecutors also informed the judge that there's still another ongoing investigation into the president's only living son. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Time now 5:09, 78 degrees.
Still ahead, how some world's largest car makers are launching a new electric vehicle charging network.
We want those injuries to look as real as possible, so that way they can practice and they can respond to that event as if it were a real life event.
Also up next, how makeup artists and other volunteers are doing their part to help first responders.
Outside with live cam, 5:09, 78 degrees, looking pretty good out there at the airport. It looks like the morning clouds have popped up after all here in the overnight hours. It was clear till just a short time ago. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Bullet wounds, bruises, and severe injuries, all created with tissue, paint, and makeup.
That's right. It's part of a basic moulage training class offered for free to volunteers who want to help first responders prepare. So this is a class offered by Southwest Texas Regional Advisory Council on Wednesday. A professional makeup artist volunteers to train students how to create wounds, and it's part of the mass casualty training class offered to first responders by Stark. Real Wounds on volunteers can help emergency personnel get a small glimpse of things they will see on real life calls.
It gives the responders the opportunity to practice their skills so that when they have to come to you, if you have that crisis, or if the community has a crisis, the responders are better equipped to provide care, both the responders and the hospitals, to provide that care for the patients during their time of need.
So being able to see something a little bit more visceral than, say, on a mannequin is a lot more realistic for their training. So to be able to do that is one of the things that I love about doing this class.
STRAC is always looking for volunteers who want to learn how to do moulage, or people who want to be a part of the mass casualty training. You can get ready and know all about it and read up on it on our website at KSAT.com.
514, 78 degrees.
And coming up next, Samsung Electronics is unveiling 2 new foldable smartphones, how much they cost, and their newest features.
And checking TransGuide, a lot of traffic at 410 and Fredericksburg. We're going to talk to Stephen Cavazos coming up in just a little bit.
I'm your overly competitive brother. Check. Psych. And I'm about to steal this game from you, just like I stole Kelly Carter in high school, huh?
You got no game. Dude, that's a foul.
And now you're ready to settle a score. Game over. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, well, you can end up paying for all this yourself. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Thanks, bro.
Take a lap, rookie.
Real mature.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
We used to struggle with greasy messes. Now, we just freak, wipe, and we're done.
With Mr. Clean Clean Freak, conquering messes is that easy. Clean Freak's mist is 3 times more powerful, and it works on contact. Clean Freak, just freak, wipe, done.
In today's Tech Bites, more EV charging stations coming to the U.S. 7 major automakers have agreed to create a nationwide network of stations meant to rival Tesla. The network is expected to include up to 30,000 high-powered plugs and be in place by 2030. Publicly traded companies will now have 4 days to disclose cybersecurity breaches that could affect their bottom lines. The new rule passed by the Securities and Exchange Commission is aimed at protecting investors. Exceptions will be allowed if national security or public safety is at risk. And Samsung is out with 2 new foldable phones as part of its plan to conquer the bendable screen market. The Galaxy Z Flip 5 comes with a gapless hinge, and the Z Fold 5 is a larger device that opens and folds like a book. Both can be pre-ordered starting on Wednesday, but I'm not sure how much they cost. Let's just hope they are affordable. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
You know, E for effort.
E for effort.
Good morning, Stephen.
Hey, well, E also stands for exit, and the exit's still closed here, guys. I mean, we're going on day 4 of I-10 at Wurzbach. Really? Yeah, I emailed Saws earlier this morning. I know it's early, but once they get back to me, I will update you on to when we're going to see this closure reopen. Now, if you remember, this all stems from a water main break that occurred in the area late Sunday night. It led to a closure out there along the frontage roads, and TxDOT crews also blocked off that exit ramp 561 there. But again, no word yet on as to when it will reopen. We do know crews are working to repair a 16-inch pipe. So water has since been restored to the area, but we're not sure exactly when we're going to see that area reopen as we take you in from our map. It's right there heading westbound. So just keep that in mind. If you've been watching us for the last few days, you are already aware of it, but just make sure that you plan ahead. And again, as soon as that reopens, we will update you and send that push notification out to your KSAT mobile app. But as we get one last look there, Mike, it's really the only closure that I'm spotting at this time. A lot more to look ahead to, though, next week.
And then, of course, still the Brooklyn exit.
And then the Brooklyn exit,
right there,
exactly. Yeah,
no word on that.
No word on that yet either, Mike.
That's really, because I drove past there yesterday or day before, and yeah, I mean, it's just totally blocked off still. Interesting. Okay, thank you very much. Great picture. Yeah, like Mr. McClellan says, the Saharan dust really enhanced that sunset shot there at Woodlawn Lake, and boy, that's a great looking shot. Thank you very much for that. All right, number of triple-digit days. Of course, last year was almost record setter. We are at this point as of yesterday up to 47 days. We're at 31 as of right now. And just comparing to last year, and I know this is not, it's not going to go the same way necessarily, but we had triple digits up through basically the first week of August, and then only one or two after that. And so if that holds true this year, that would be fantastic. But that would almost open up the entire month of August, though, as far as trying to catch up to last year's number of triple-digit days, if indeed this heat does stick around. And it is going to be sticking around at least through the first week of August. 78 degrees this morning. That's why we're going to be bottoming out at some clouds. We've already seen a few of those clouds that have started to develop. And then we're going to be up to 92 at noon. 100 high temperature today. Humidity will drop down later on in the afternoon, of course, like we've been talking about. And once again, in the tropics, there was that little wave out there, little glitch just right around the Bahamas, and that has kind of fizzled on out. And then there's another little spot out here well off in the eastern Atlantic Ocean, but Hurricane Center says there's no chance that that's going to be developing. Sometimes the Saharan dust, when it comes over, does tend to kind of put a little bit of a lid on things as far as any development while that's in place. But of course, we still have 4 more months to go of the tropical season. Jump ahead to the weekend. Of course, we were talking about how there was going to be that easterly wave coming in here from the Gulf of Mexico, which a lot of times those can, give us rain chances, but the atmosphere is just too dry. So other than maybe a few extra clouds here and there, I mean, we've got nothing as far as rain going in through the weekend and even into the first part of next week. Maybe an extra cloud or two here or there. So the next 7 days look like this. Pretty much each and every day is going to look about the same. We're going to be at low temperatures, 78 degrees. Normal low right now is 75. That will go up to 76 by the first part of next week. And then high temperatures normal high will go up to 97 degrees. That's that hottest time of the year, which goes through about the first couple of weeks of August. Still 5 degrees above normal.
Well, the forecast is kind of ho-hum when Saharan dust gets top billing.
Yay, Saharan
Good
dust.
point, when it's above the title of the movie there, which is triple digits. So.
All right, we've seen this movie before, I think. 522, 78 degrees.
Up next, a first look at the new Exorcist trilogy, plus news about a pair of Pokemon animated series.
A new Exorcist trilogy is heading to theaters.
CNN's Rick Damagello has a preview of the first film and more in the Hollywood Minute.
My name is Liko. I came to Indigo Academy in the Kanto region, hoping to learn more about myself.
The Pokemon Company International has revealed the first English-language dubbed footage of Pokemon Horizons, the series. The animated adventure debuted in April in Japan, with the U.S. release date still to be announced.
Oh, hi, Pikachu!
And in more Poke news, Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, the series, will conclude the 25-season journey of Ash Ketchum and Pikachu, debuting September 8th on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagello.
527, 78 degrees.
Seems like the Federal Reserve really doesn't like you having money. It's raised interest rates on things like your mortgage, credit cards, and student loans for the 11th time in 17 months. Wise says it may do it again in just a couple of months.
Most people know about Wendy's Frosty Treat. Now fans of cold brew coffee can get their caffeine in Frosty form. Up next, how it's made and the only way you can order it with a discount.
Looks wonderful. And ahead on GMSA at 6, new research revealing unsettling news about pregnant women and exposure to harmful chemicals. We're going to tell you about those chemicals and where they're most likely found.
For the 11th time in 17 months, the Federal Reserve has boosted interest rates. That means you have to spend more to get mortgages, credit cards, and car loans.
would say it is certainly possible that we would raise funds again at the September meeting if the data warranted.
Up next, why the Fed keeps taking money away from you even though it says the economy is strong.
And looking out there with live cam, 78 degrees right now. It's 5:30 a.m. I kind of like that. You know, my shift starts early, so I'm out before the sun is beating down on me.
Yeah, all of us for sure. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. It is July 27th.
Thanks for joining us. And you're right about walking across the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know, you could feel, you know, the sun on your skin. And then I feel bad because I was running errands yesterday. I was like, the sun. But then I saw a security guard who had to constantly walk. And I'm like, oh, sorry, sir.
Yeah, that's the thing I was talking about. You feel the temperatures we talk about are in the shade. It's the air temperature, but if you're out in the direct sun, you're getting that. And then if you're walking across the parking lot of the grocery store or something like that, you've got the heat that's radiating off of the dark pavement there. So yeah, just do everything you can, all of the precautions in temperatures like this and all this blazing sunshine. You can see we got a couple of clouds that have already started to develop here. They'll stick around this morning somewhat, but you know, yesterday it was like, oh boy, it'd be great if those clouds stuck around longer to sort of delay the start of the heating process, but nope, wasn't the case, and that's going to be the situation this morning as well. 79 right now. Dew point stands at 71, so it's, we've got our morning moisture hanging around here. We've got just a little bit of a wind out of the south. Heat index 79 Devine and 82 Stinson, 83 up the road at Canyon Lake. Mold is on the low side. Did drop down from yesterday's reading, which of course had dropped down from the previous day when it was so high. We're going to make it up through the 80s. Some leftover clouds this morning, of course, a lot more sunshine, 92. And then top off, once again, 100 high temperature today. Is there anything that looks like any sort of a change coming up? We will take a look ahead to the last weekend of July already, and the start of August is just around the corner. Details in a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, what's going on?
Oh, the closure you mentioned, Mike, that is still going on there at 35 at St. Mary's. Let's get a wider look at TransGuide. Now, if you remember, this all stems from a fire that occurred underneath the bridge that caused some damage to the drainage system that's built underneath the highway. Since then, we've seen those barrels out there for over a month. Now, there's no estimated time as to when we're going to see that area reopen, but just remember, we have our eyes on that, and we want you to be prepared for that if you have to hit the roads in the next few moments. It's not causing an issue for traffic just yet, but it's early, and we tend to see a little bit of a buildup out there around the morning rush. So again, 35 southbound, if you're heading in that direction, just keeping a lookout for those barrels that are in place. And of course, we still have that other closure along I-10 heading westbound at Wurzbach Road at Callahan. But other than that, I've not seen any other issues that have been reported. Of course, we have the scattered construction taking place in and around the Alamo City. But good news here is we're not seeing any of that slow folks down if you plan on making your commute right here to the downtown area. Still pretty green from Skeen with 31 minutes along I-10 westbound, 33 along 87 northbound if you're traveling up from Livonia. And for our friends down in Floresville, should be about a 29-minute commute if you're trying to get here to the downtown area in San Antonio. But always be on the lookout there. Anytime you see those barrels, just to make sure that you're aware of what's happening out on the roadway. There are a lot more closures, including a full weekend closure that's taking place. We'll tell you where that's at coming up in the next few minutes. Mark.
Thank you, Stephen. San Antonio police looking for some people who made an especially large withdrawal from an ATM. Those people broke into the machine and took off with the cash.
Katrina Weber is live at West Avenue and Bassey Road. And Katrina, we understand police are still searching the neighborhood for the criminals.
Well, that is right. There's a lot of police activity in this area, both about a block away from here where they found a truck they believe was involved in this theft, as well as right here at the machine itself. Boy, these criminals made a mess of that machine, ripped it wide open, and according to police, they did take off with a large amount of the cash. It appears that they used a truck with a chain attached, as we've seen in many of these cases. That truck was abandoned, again, just about a block away from here, ditched in someone's front yard, and police found it there. They've been searching that neighborhood. They had the helicopter up a little while ago, searching the area for the people who were running off. Now, it seems somebody was passing by, saw what was going on, and called police just before 4:30 this morning. But by the time they got here, or when they got here, it was too late to save the money because that was already open and the money was gone. We saw a similar case just about a week ago or so over across town on the far west side on Marbach Road. The same thing happened where the criminals were actually able to get inside that machine and get the cash. This is unusual because many of these that I've covered over the years, they never quite get inside, but that is the case today. And I just want to point out that I can't help but notice that there are many surveillance cameras along the buildings here, so it'll be interesting to see what police are able to find out later on today. Reporting live on the north side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thanks, Katrina. 5:35, U.S. Commerce Department releasing its first estimate of the second quarter gross domestic product, or GDP, at 7:30 this morning.
Many economists predict the economy will hold strong at the 2% annualized rate during the first quarter. As CNN's John Lawrence reports, that's thanks in large part to a robust job market.
Some U.S. households may want to do some budgetary belt-tightening. For the 11th time in 17 months, the Federal Reserve has boosted interest rates, which means items like mortgages, credit cards, car loans, and student debt costs will be higher. And Fed Chair Jerome Powell hinted at the possibility of another increase in the near future.
I would say it is certainly possible that we would raise funds again at the September meeting if the data warranted. And I would also say it's possible that we would choose to hold steady at that meeting.
Long story short, the Fed wants these interest rate hikes to bring down inflation.
If you continue to get inflation reports like the one that we got in June, that's enough evidence for Fed officials to maybe pause for an extended period of time.
Inflation has been cooling off recently, but not enough for the Fed, partly because the U.S. labor market remains strong. And for the overall U.S. economy, lower than usual unemployment numbers can be seen as a blessing and a curse.
Can't have a recession if we're creating lots of jobs, and that's what we're doing right now. So recession risks are high, but I think we have a fighting chance to get through all this without actually suffering one.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
President Joe Biden is working with Mayor Ron Nirenberg to come up with new ways to address the extreme heat that has threatened millions of Americans. The White House says officials are working on improved weather forecasts and more accessible drinking water. The leaders of the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, as well as Mayor Ron Nirenberg and the mayor of Phoenix, Arizona, will participate in an event with Biden. Both cities have seen long stretches of broiling triple-digit temperatures.
Recordings made to introduce life on Earth to extraterrestrials are going up for auction at Sotheby's today. This copy of NASA's Voyager Golden Record was kept by the late astronomer Carl Sagan. The recordings were made for NASA's twin Voyager probes that lifted off in 1977 and continue to explore to this day. Now, one reel includes Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good, as well as different styles of music from around the world. The other reel has Humpback Whale Song, greetings in 59 languages, and other sounds. The recordings are expected to fetch up to $600,000 at auction.
Time now, it's 5:38 and 78 degrees for now.
All right, did you guys go out and dress up for the Barbie movie? Maybe bring along some of the iconic toys with you? Steph's nodding yes. Mattel wants you to keep doing that. Up next, how the Barbie makers are already seeing green for the holidays thanks to all the pink at the box office.
And would you dip your French fries in this? Not sure. Up next, how you can get your hands on Wendy's new Frosty Cream Cold Brew.
Oh yeah, some folks will. Outside right now, taking a look at live cam over there on the northwest side. A few clouds out there, but not too bad out. 78 degrees, and we'll check with Steven coming up.
Welcome back. It's 5:42 in your morning consumer headlines. In case you didn't know, that Barbie movie is all just a big advertisement. Mattel says it plans to go all in to deliver a big Barbie Christmas this year. It's only 151 days away, Mike. The toy maker's CEO shared in Wednesday's earnings call that the company has locked in more than 165 partnerships with brands and retailers related to the Barbie movie. The film, based on the famous doll, scored the largest opening weekend of 2023. Mattel released a new collection of toys tied to the movie back on June 1st. And those that the initial movie-related products have already sold out. However, the company plans to release more products in time for the holidays and cash in on the movie's popularity.
Fans of cold brew coffee can now get their caffeine fix at Wendy's restaurants nationwide. Wendy's introduces Frosty Cream Cold Brew. The chain says the coffee is steeped for 12 hours, then mixed with Wendy's signature Frosty Creamer and a choice of vanilla, chocolate, or new caramel syrup. The Frosty Cream Cold Brew available all day long, not just mornings. And for a limited time, it's just 99 cents through the Wendy's app. Not sure if you should dip your fries in them, though, because that's kind of a thing, too, to dip them into the Frosty. Is that your thing?
No, not mine. What about you, Mike?
Mike's like,
Mike
yes.
said yes. Okay.
Absolutely. I definitely heard it's a thing. It's the sweet and the salty, right?
I guess.
Don't knock it till you try it. 543, 78 degrees.
Up next, we are checking in with the San Antonio Humane Society and this cute little pet that needs a new home.
Well, here's a little. Can you? The camera's that way.
I think he's mesmerized by you.
Okay. Anyway, Kim's here from the San Antonio Humane Society. And who's this little guy you have?
So this little guy is Duke. Duke is a 2-month-old little terrier mix. If you remember last week, we had his sister Carissa on. So definitely has a, oh my God, the coat is super soft. I mean, Mike, look at him. I think he's really enjoying his nice massage.
Yes, he's got 4 hands just, right here.
Like, I love this.
But again, he is a puppy, so
he is a puppy.
He will chew. So lots of chew toys.
Absolutely,
things like that.
Lots of chew toys, lots of playtime. Probably good with to run around and have some fun. But definitely will be a little cuddle bug, I think, on the couch.
And
for
a little
you,
bit of that 2-month-old fear stage because his little paws are kind of clenched. But what y'all got going on?
So end of summer's coming up, and we need your beach towels. So your extra long beach towels. You're probably thinking some of these have maybe some holes in them or have been through some things, but we can use them. So we use them for our dogs, our large dogs, after surgery or before surgery. We put them on the tables, and we help transport them to the recovery area. So we really are in need of beach towels, especially the longer ones. So you can donate those. You can drop those off at our location. You can also go on our Amazon wish list, and there's some there too. If you choose, hey, I might just want to have them sent directly to you, but you can do that too.
Even if you have like the old bath towels, sheets, the bigger ones, and they're
please bring them.
Getting a little bit long in the teeth there. So.
No matter if they have holes or little stains, we don't care. We will use them.
Okay. And if you'd like more information about anything else that you can donate or purchase for them, Amazon wish list, head on over to sahumane.org or go visit them in person at 4804 Fredericksburg Road. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
I believe Duke was camera aware. At one point, Kim and Mike both look at the camera, and Duke goes,
He's so cute.
The dog was saying, how much longer is he going to talk? So I don't know.
No.
We weren't thinking that.
He's adorable.
549.
Let's check back with Stephen Cavazos.
I think he was just ready for you to quit talking and get to massaging Mike. He looked like he was enjoying that.
That could be it.
Hey guys, let's get a look around town because the commute has been pretty quiet for the most part as we get closer to morning rush, but no need to rush out the door. There's 10 at Hackberry, east and westbound lanes, pretty quiet, and 35 north at Loop 410. We're seeing traffic pick up this early in the morning, but be on the lookout. We still have closures like this in place at I-10 westbound there at exit 561 and 35 heading southbound at Brooklyn. So that's expected. Those closures have been in place for a while, but we're keeping an eye on it. And as soon as they reopen, we will let you know. But more closures ahead. As I teased a little bit earlier, we have a full weekend closure taking place here. Yep, Loop 1604 North Expansion Project. It's bridge demolition. This will begin tomorrow, Friday, July 28th, and wrap on Monday, July 31st. It all begins at 9 in the evening and should hopefully wrap at 5 in the morning. We'll see eastbound main lane full closures from Bitters Road exit ramp, that is, to the Blanco Road entrance ramp. Keep this in mind. It's a full weekend closure, which means we will see those barriers out there pretty much throughout the whole weekend. So plan that commute ahead of time. Head over to ksat.com/traffic for a full list of all the closures. But just be on the lookout for those TxDOT crews out there working to beat the heat. It is been a scorcher.
Yes, it has been.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah.
I like this other pet you have coming.
Yeah, talk about a dog's life. Man, this is very nice. And the nice thing about weather that we're in right now, if you are in a pool and then hop out, it is dry enough, the humidity drops down enough to where you feel kind of cool. It's going to evaporate very efficiently. The water will off your body.
Mike, there's enough room in there for Duke.
Oh,
yeah.
Duke.
They could have like a little party going on in there.
I know.
Yeah.
A good time.
Okay, have you ever taken, by the way, if you don't have one of these floaties, you ever been in the pool and you take 2 pool noodles, especially the big ones. You put one behind your neck and one right behind your knees, and you can float just perfectly.
So you've got this down to an art form, Mike.
It's fantastic. So anyway, thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. I love that. And we'll take the invite for the pool party. So once again, number of 100-degree days. We are at 31 as of right now, and we are going to continue to chalk them up at least. I mean, we're going to be getting up, should be getting up to at least 40 just by looking at the forecast throughout the rest of the week and then going into next week as well. So here's what it looks like outside right now, and we do have a few clouds that have shown up. Traffic's pretty good out there at 410 by the airport. 101 yesterday, 107 Cotulla, and some low hundreds out there along the Rio Grande Valley. Del Rio got up to 105, and pretty much the same situation again today. We're going for 100 here in town, maybe just shy of it in some spots, but again, it's going to be just within a couple of degrees of triple digits, and that will continue to be the case, like I said, throughout the foreseeable future. And as far as the heat index, at least it's not going to be that much above what the actual air temperature is, again, given the fact that the humidity will be dropping down. So your body can cool itself fairly efficiently if you are in the shade, not out in the direct sun, because then you're not only feeling the air temperature, but the sun is heating you up on top of that. The high, which again is sitting over the southwest United States, directly on top of New Mexico, stays in place. We had been hoping for a little bit of something from this easterly wave coming in here from the Gulf of Mexico, but again, the atmosphere is just so dry, there's nothing to get squeezed out with that, and that high is just going to remain in place in through the weekend and actually kind of move on in here ever so slightly, and that's going to probably knock temperatures up a couple of notches as we go into the first couple of days of next week. So 100 today. Tomorrow, don't forget, we've got Saharan dust out there, and that's going to be the case today, tomorrow, as well as first part of the day on Saturday. Then we get up to 102s Sunday through first half of next week, going into the start of August. What's Wednesday?
National holiday. And then another national holiday.
My forecast only goes on through Wednesday.
Remind me to get him something for his birthday, okay?
Okay. It's on the calendar.
All right, 5:53, 78 degrees.
Does that mean I have to get him something?
That would be nice, Mike. Pick 3. We have 4, 3,
Here's a
3.
purple mirror for you.
Aw. Fireball 7. Daily 4, 9213. Fireball 7.
Mike, I got you some Cash 5 numbers. 1, 9, 20, 32, 33. Lotto Texas 10, 23, 26, 30, 37, 45. And these may be winners, Mike. Powerball 3, 16, 40, 48, 60. Powerball 14, Power Play 2.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, Hunter Biden's plea deal on hold. What we learned overnight. Our team is going to break it all down. And we're hearing exclusively from one of Bronny James's closest friends, Shaq's son, what he told Bronny in the hospital and the latest on the young basketball star's condition. Plus, an exclusive with the surgeons who separated conjoined twins in a historic procedure over 4 months. You're going to see those stories and so much more right here on GMA.
It's the final week for the Right Start program, where you can donate school supplies for kids. The teachers of Somerset and Judson ISD will be getting the supplies this year. United Way is looking for volunteers to help with donations on August 4th. If you still don't have stuff to donate yourself, you can visit any Cavender auto dealership in San Antonio or visit United Way directly at 700 South Alamo Street. You can also buy a school supply bag by texting Right Start to 41444. Still ahead in the next hour of Good Morning San Antonio, a special spotlight on a San Antonio mom who's sharing her experience with her son after his journey of being born with a cleft lip and palate. And up next, emergency care after a crisis. After a dozen migrants were found in a trailer of I-35 last week, we're learning what happens after first responders arrive. And TransGuide right now looking live at 410 in Ingram, and traffic coming right at that camera. You're watching GMSA.